everyone, if you're watching a recording, Okay, we're gonna get started here in just a minute. Seems again. Oh my gosh, what happened here? Okay. Alright, so I've lost one of my cameras. I don't know why. And you can't see me, right? I'm assuming no one can see me. Let's see if we can disable this. Remove. I did. Okay, so give me just a minute here. I seem to be having some technical difficulties. Of course, this tested out just fine, and some of you guys might have seen it a little bit ago. But it looks like one of my cameras officially died. Huh, totally crazy. Okay, hold on. It says waiting for stream, which is really weird. Okay. No, it says I'm up live. Okay, we'll do it slightly differently here. Let's see if I can get this to work. This is going to be interesting. Okay. Very different today. Let's see. See if I can get that up and running. Okay, so this is going to be really, really, really interesting. Let's see if, again, I can get this up and running. Okay, so I switched cameras. It looks like one of my cameras have officially died. So you get sort of the side view unless I can figure out how in the world I can get this to change. So give me just another minute here. Oh my gosh. Everybody who's watching recording, you probably want to fast forward about 5 minutes as I try to figure this out. Wah! I hate it when this stuff happens, right? Totally crazy. Oh! And then the other camera just fell into my quench bowl. How's that working out for you today, Q? Let's see. Can I get that? Oh yeah, you would just laugh if you can see what's going on over here. 1 second. Okay. Oops. So it looks like the platforms are up. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and hit this on Twitter. Then you can all see me fumble. Goodness. All right. Let's see if I can get this camera where I need it. Because we're using a completely new camera, or a different camera right now. So all has to be reset. Okay. Better. Sort of. There we go. Okay. I don't know what to say here except yipes. Okay. Ah! Okay. So, hi. It's QFOM. I'm QFOM Gray. This is Q Talk Live on streaming on 5 channels. We're on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and Facebook. If we're actually working. We're working. I know we're working. We got to be working, right? We got to be working. All right, then let's see if I can fix this camera just a little bit more. There we go. Okay. How are you guys doing? Clearly, I'm fumbles today. Total fumbles. Okay. So Andy says just the chat is working on Twitch. So I don't know what's going on out there in Facebook land. But it sounds like it's sort of challenging, and it is what it is, right? But say hi if you can. Let us know you're out there. It seems that I'm having some well, I contacted support today on my chat side, and they're like, well, you know, you got other problems. But anyway, you guys should be able to talk to one another. You guys don't need to talk to me, do you? Anyway, it is UFO Wednesdays where I work on everyone else's UFO. And today I have something from Janet. And, you know, she sent me a project that I was like, oh, okay. At first she sent this to me. It was a project that came from a class that I did that she did not finish setting the stone. And I was like, oh, that's way too simple. I don't want to do that. But she sent it along with this ring shank, and then she decided that she really didn't want this ring shank and that she really wanted this ring shank. So I said, oh, okay, no big deal. But, you know, I still have this. And as much as I was thinking about it today, that it's sort of a, you know, start from scrap deal, right? Because it's a piece of, it's sort of a piece of scrap, but it's sort of not a piece of scrap, but it's hers, therefore it's a UFO. So we're doing it on UFO Wednesdays. And anyway, so this piece is a very, very, very thick piece of wire. I think this is something around, oh, I'm going to go with 14 gauge times 3. So it became this thick piece, and I was like, well, what can we do with this? And this is what's been going through my brain is how can we make this into something that's, you know, maybe a little bit different, and with just, you know, using what we have here instead of going out and buying stuff. So what I came up with was, at first I was thinking about putting a stone on each end, and then of course the stones that I have don't fit, and they didn't, I didn't have a bezel cup for it, and I wasn't going to make a 4mm bezel cup. That's just, too crazy, right? And then I thought, okay, well, how can I embellish this without just making a ring band? Because that's just not fun. And so I came up with this. So Andy and I looked at it, and Andy took a vote, and Andy won. I know. I just went with Andy. Anyway, so we're thinking, how fun would it be to have this in between, not on top of, but in between the wires, and make that your embellishment, which I thought was, oh, that's a really easy project, and it brings a lot of life to a piece of metal that's just an expensive piece of metal that's just sitting around. And then there was also the thought of, as I thought about this some more, that, you know, I always like to zhuzh it up just a little bit. So we're going to play around and see if we can add, I don't think you can see that, but we can add a little CZ to this whole scenario, like so. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if you can see that. This itty bitty scenario here, and see if we can put that in there. But of course, I didn't want to just solder this tube on top, because then it would sit really tall. So wouldn't it be more interesting if I could actually set this to the inside of this? And so I thought, oh, you know what? That is a teaching moment. So let's go ahead and do that. But it just occurred to me, I forgot to do something. I didn't turn on my oxygen concentrator. So I'm going to go turn that on, and I'll be right back. So the oxygen concentrator, if you don't know, is about 20 feet away that way, because it is, what am I thinking? Oh, because it's so loud and the vibration, blah, 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 that I actually have it in another room, and I ran a hose all the way from there, because I'm just going to use my Gen-Tech today, because I can, of course. Anyway, so this piece of metal has been sitting around, and it's twisted, and it's all that good stuff, which means it's really hard. You can see it's really hard to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and anneal it first, and then go from there. Okay, let's get everything out of the way before we get started. All right, tool in hand. Oops, blew out my torch. Jeez, as I struggle. Today is a bit of a struggle, clearly. Don't know why. All right, we'll pull out the other torch, because I can't get this one on today. Yeah. Okay. We'll set you aside for a minute. I just need to anneal this right now. So anytime your metal gets hard, you want to go ahead and try to anneal it or keep annealing it. It's a good thing. You know, Neil should be your friend, as I always like to say. Has what? Okay, so for those of you who do not see video on Twitch, apparently there's some issues there. You need to reload your browser. I did a little research on this today, and it seems that it's a browser issue more than it is a Twitch issue. Because, you know, I went back and I looked on the Twitch account. I'm going to go ahead and pickle this. I looked on the Twitch account to find that it is... the videos are live and they're up and running and doing all the things that they're supposed to be doing. So it's a browser issue for you guys who are not seeing it. So Andy wants me to tell you how to reload your browser. You go, you do a search for, oh, and it's usually Chrome. So you do a search for Chrome download and re-download it. Okay, you might want to uninstall and reinstall it. That is a real easy way to go. So what's happening now? Yeah, everything is, of course, a challenge. I don't know why. Why is it a challenge today? Today is hump day. We're like halfway there, right? And I got all the classes up on the Virtually Ever Crafting site. I'm waiting for final proof from the instructors. And, you know, it should be a really easy, smooth day. But no. Yeah, so what I'm doing right now is apparently I did not have any water in my pickle pot. It's dry. I know. I was like, oh, I turned it on so early, and I actually remembered, but now I have crystals inside of here and nothing's working. Okay, so again, I'm hearing a report that the Twitch app is not working either. Again, it's the same deal. You want to reinstall it. The videos, like I said, last week we were saying the same thing, or on Monday we were saying the same thing, that Twitch wasn't working, but when I went to check it on the Twitch site, the video is there. So it is probably a app issue. Just uninstall and reinstall your app. Okay, so here we are. I've annealed this. Let's see how well I annealed it. Not well. I need to heat that up some more. It's really, really, really stiff. So I'm going to do it one more time here. And why am I annealing this? Because, you know, I'm a little skeptical if I have enough wire to make the size that she wanted. So I want to make a little bit of an extra twist on the end, so to create more length for myself. Okay, so while we do that, let me see if I can get this torch up and running. I don't know why I'm so torch challenge right now. You know, you'd think that I've never used a torch before. Too much gas, too little gas, too everything. There we go. All right, we're going to just sort of leave it on. How's that? Then there won't be any question. All right, let's go get our piece here. Yay. So what's happening next week? Next week we are going to be in Tucson. So I'll be traveling on Monday. There will be no Q Talk Live on Monday. But on Wednesday, hopefully everything's up and running and doing what it's supposed to be doing. And I will be coming live from Tucson. We'll probably do a walkthrough at the show and see if I can get some permission to do a live from there. And show you guys a little bit of what's going on out in Tucson land. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to twist this wire. Again, just trying to create a little bit of length for myself because I just don't want to be short wire. Once I cut this, I'm sort of screwed, right? There we go. Nice. So the next question is, how do I want to cut this? Well, Janet did a really nice job cutting this here. I'm gonna bet that she used a saw to do it, but we all know how I like to use my cutters to do these things. So I'm just gonna see what happens if I snip it with my bad boys. Ooh, nice. That worked pretty well. Okay. There we go. So put on our mandrel. Let's see. Okay, so I was a little bit overzealous. I have plenty of wires. You can see it comes around. I'm leaving a gap in between the wires because this is just going to come over the sides because I don't want this piece to sit on top of the wire. I want it to sit side by side to my wire. Okay, go. So it looks like she soldered this end and it's staying together really nice, which is a great thing that she did that because you can see my wires coming apart as I was working it. But that's okay because I'm going to cut it off anyway. Despite that, I am going to twist it just to keep things neat and working well. I'm sorry, honey. Okay, and I'm cutting it a little bit at a time because I'm a freak. I'm afraid, and I'm a freak. Okay, we're in a little too close here. Okay, maybe she didn't solder this because it's coming apart, but that's okay. I want to take a look down the barrel, make sure that it is nice and tight to my mandrel, which it is not, but I want to keep trimming before I work this too much, right? Why work harder when you don't have to? And what I'm doing with my nylon nose is I'm just helping the twist, making sure that it's nice and tight is what I'm working on there. Okay, so here what I'm going to do, because I want to put this in between, right, is I sort of want to gauge how much wire I want to cut off of this. Just very little, and make sure this is nice and tight on my size 8. So I'm going to cut a little bit more off. And if you're looking really closely, you'll see that the ends, they're not pointed in the right direction. You see? So if I was to put something on the end here, you see how it would just be working that way. So if you want it to sit down like this, you have to file or cut to the inside so that the inside is a bit smaller. So as you can see, the angle is going out like this. You really need it to go, oops, like this. You'll see it here in a second. To the inside. So anytime you cut a ring shank, you really, in a thick one, you want to cut an angle to the inside. I know I'm not saying that well. My head is in all kinds of places today. Sorry, guys. Okay. So I'm going to file this. again, just sort of pushing it all together, making sure that this is really nice and tight. So you can see how my angle is starting to work its way in, whereas this one is still pointed out too much. So I'm filing this to the inside. So again, it's like this right now, and I'm going to file like this to get that, the angle that I want. So I wonder what happened to my camera, because it was like totally working an hour ago. You know, I come back, I sit down, it's like beep, gone. What the heck, right? Okay, so you guys can see that. The angle's changed. And this should come pretty close. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut some more off of there. So you can see it's a little bit of an overlap, but it's a lot better. You see, so I'm not pointing up so much as I was before. And this one, yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut it just to save a little bit of work. I mean, filing takes a long time, right? So sometimes it's best just to cut it to get your, to trim it. And I think I will solder this here in a second to get those wires together. That's pretty close. You see where I'm going with that? So that's where I'm going. I'm going to check the size. Be careful if you do something like this that you don't impede to the inside diameter. So if this was a round bead, then you would have to make this bigger, because that bead was going to hang to the inside, changing the size of this piece. Whoa! Okay, so we are that seems to be the right size. Okay, I'm checking here. Okay, so I do need to file some more, but I feel like every time I file, the wires are coming apart, and it's really starting to bother me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put some solder on the ends, and I'm going to run the solder through to keep the braid, the twist, from coming apart. However, I also see, I know it's a tiniest little gap, but when I'm making this for somebody else and not just a sample, I get really sort of anal-retentive crazy about this. So I'm just going to anneal this one more time, right? And I'm going to get those ends together. Because once you've been cutting and filing, you are work hardening this. So, you know, people think it's passive. It's not that passive. And it does matter. Okay. There we go. See, it came right together because it's nicely annealed. At least that one part did. See if I can get the other part together. I'll stick this in the pickle one more time, and then we'll grab some solder out. I'll put some hard solder in there. And then I'll just reshape it one last time and file it before I put the bead on. It's actually a bead. It's a ballet bead that I had. Okay. So here we'll just take a bit of solder. And I'm using paste solder. Why not? It's just easy. And I'm literally just putting a clump of it right on the end. And we'll just heat this and ask for it to come. all the way around. Eat the whole thing. Once you get hot, I'm doing one side first, and then the other. This one did not come together like I thought it should. There it is. So I'm just helping it with my fire tweezers just a little bit. And I'm going to ask it to come around. I'm not going to get it to go all the way around. There's no reason. You couldn't see that anyway. Cool. Okay. All right, we're going to put it back in the pickle. We'll reshape that. And then we'll file a little bit more just to get the shape really nice. Pickle, pickle. So if you're watching this on your lunch hour, say hi from your lunch hour. It would be interesting to see how many of you guys are actually watching this from work. I've heard from at least 5 people who told me that, oh yeah, you know, they schedule Monday and Wednesday at work, lunch at 1 o'clock. It's sort of funny. I usually eat lunch after I do this. Hey, but whatever works, right? Could be a little cleaner in that pickle, but I'm going with it. All right, so here we are. Oops, reshape. So what I'm doing is I'm looking down on my mandrel to see where the gaps are, and that's where I'm going to be giving a little love. Okay, got big on me, so we're gonna go really small because there's spring, of course, in the wire. And I'm actually shaping it at like size 7, 6, 7 here to get it around. Then I'm going to push it out to size. Where's my size? Oh, I'm already there. See, this is why we start small, because you get there so quickly. Okay, so this does need a bit more filing, so you can see. We knew that. And you know what? I'm going to make even quicker work of this. I'm going to jump over to my sanding disc on my flex shaft to do this. And I'll get it down even faster. I still have my bit from Monday's class, Monday's live. It's okay. You know, I don't know why, but when I do these lives, I feel like I gotta be moving really fast or else I'm gonna lose your attention. As I panic. Okay. Repeat, please. Well, happy Wednesday back to ya. Okay. Well, it's a little bit more than I thought, so I'm going to go ahead and trim it just to get this show on the road. Go. Almost there. I'm taking off so little. I know I should just be filing this, but I'm going to cut. I should probably saw it. Can you guys see the angle I'm working on? See, I'm working to the inside there. So close. Much closer. Okay. I'm feeling pretty good about this. Okay. So here what I'm looking at is I'm looking at the gaps. Can you see that? There's a gap there and there's a gap there, which means I need to continue to file or sand to the inside so that it sits better. So a lot of this, when you're doing this, is you need to be able to identify what needs to be taken off. And that is time and experience. If you're new at this, you don't know what you're looking for, that's okay. That's what teaching is for. That's what classes are for. But over time, you'll figure it out. And you'll see, oh yeah, I need to take more to the inside or the outside, whatever it is. Okay. Hopefully over time you'll figure it out. Okay, you know what? This is like not fun for the hands. Let's see if I can put out the hand vise here. So, question is about this Band-Aid that I have here. I don't know what I was doing this morning, but I scraped it. And, it was the smallest scrape. You know when you take off just like a little bit of skin off your knuckles? It's awful. And I was going to let it go, and then I decided that maybe that dot of red blood / flesh on camera was not a pretty thing to have, on a YouTube or something that's quasi-permanent out there on the internet verse. So, all right, I'm best just to put a Band-Aid on it. So that's what you're looking at. Ah, yay, look at that. Okay, pretty happy. Let's come in and take a look, and you'll see. No! That zoom just went a little bit too far, but we'll go with it. So you see that? It's nice and tight now. Okay, so now we're going to go fix the other side. So that's one side fixed. This side needs some more. So parallel pliers, that's what I'm using. I'm using a nylon parallel plier. When I first started, there was no such animal. There were only parallel pliers. But what they used to call this, before they called them parallel pliers, is they called them hand vices, because we're using it exactly the way I'm showing you here. So it's a nice tool to have because of how it grips things, right? Okay, so now it's a little bit loose, but I gave myself a little margin to work with. I knew that this is going to be a little bit too big, and it is a hair big, and it is a hair loose. So I'm going to push this down a little bit further to the size 7.5, and we'll push it out. Okay, so I'm just making it nice and round and tight around that 7.5. Okay, so it's sitting right now at 7.5, and I should be able to push it right out to that 8 and see where we go. Nope. Make sure that is a good size. Okay, so I can feel it rubbing, which means it's going to be nice and tight. The soldering of this is going to be interesting. Let's see. Nice. See, it's nice and tight. Okay. But looking at this, I still have a gap right there, and that's gonna bother me. So I'm gonna do a little teeny weeny bit more filing and see if I can close up that gap. This kind of thing just takes time. Be patient with it. Give yourself that time that you need. Everybody wants to rush through the process. But you know, if you're going to do anything well, you got to give it time. And I talk a lot about that and about skill. It takes a long time to master something. You know, we were talking about this just a couple weeks ago at metal immersion, and I always tell this story. I had a student who came to me and said, Q, I'm not getting any better. What's going on? I said, when was the last time you did this? She goes, 6 months ago. I'm like, well, how do you get better without practice, right? So this takes time and practice. You have to give it to yourself, okay? Look at that. I'm so happy. I know. I'm going to zoom in and show you. That's how happy I am. See how tight it is? Woohoo. Okay. So now I'm going to make it nice and even. It keeps coming back, but there it is. Okay, it's not straight. Is that straight? That's straight. See, it's straight, but it's off right here. By 0.5 millimeter. That's enough to kill me. Okay, let's see. How do I fix that? So I think it's a twist. Oh, yeah. Look at that. See, those little tiny movements, they work well. All right, so we're going to level this out like so. So it's not cockeyed. And we're going to go solder this. Yeah, baby. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and grab some medium solder on this at this junction, and I'm going to just put some on the underside right there and right there. It's a ton of solder. I know. I'm going to take it off, I promise. Okay. Take some of that off. Don't spread it like peanut butter, but make sure it's where it needs to be for the joint. So it's on the underside. I'm going to go ahead and heat this and see if it comes over or around. Fingers crossed. Okay. Andy, did you make an offering to the solder gods? He says, of course. Well, you know, let's just put it this way. Andy made an offering to the Starbucks gods today and ran out and got us each a cup of Starbucks, which makes me so happy today. It's one of those cold days where a nice hot drink is in order. So here we go. Fingers crossed. So you're going to heat the whole thing, both sides. Get nice and warm. And this is sort of a scary proposition because you don't know how these ballet beads are put together. It's probably not a great solder, meaning it's probably easy solder. So you got to be sort of diligent about getting this soldered quickly and not overheating. Ooh, I think I did it. I know I did on this side. This side looks a little sketchy. You know, I'm going to put just a teeny bit more solder on there because I can. But I want to keep it as neat as possible. so happy. Did you guys see that? I did. Okay, wire tweezers. Woohoo! See, it is on there. It is cleaned up. Okay, so this side, you know, I think I'm going to clean that up with a little sanding and not try to move the solder. All right, so then next up, so here's my thought. How am I going to get this stone into this setting? I'm sorry, this setting into this bead. That's the question. So my thought was that I would drill a hole that was big enough for my tube setting to go into. Well, so fingers crossed that it actually works, because, you know, this is all by the seat of my pants, but I have a second bead just in case I screw it up. Just saying, just saying. But I won't screw it up, right? Because all you guys are out there rooting for me, right? Say yes. Everybody nod. I know, but I've already heard you like it when I screw up because y'all learn something. But, you know, it's more fun for me when I do it right. And I don't screw up. Okay, this needs to go back in for a second. So we're probably going to go past 2 o'clock today a little bit because I started late. But hey, I'm pretty proud that I'm getting this done pretty quickly. Andy just gave me a time check. That's why I mentioned that. He's like, it's 1:45. We've been on for 45 minutes. It's amazing how quickly time passes when you're having so much fun, right? Andy's like, yeah, right, fun. This is fun. Okay. All right, well, it doesn't want to come off. I'm not so worried about it, though. It'll come off sooner or later. I still have some fire scale there, but I just want to see if it's clean enough, that kind of thing. I'm going to need a little tiny bit of filing there. All right, so how am I going to drill this? We're going to put it on a wood ring mandrel. Ooh, you're not so round. Are you round? What's going on? Okay. Oh, you're big enough. But you sort of don't want to be round. Let me see if I can round this up. It's really sort of funny what has happened here. Okay, so I know this is going to fit because I have so much gap in there, even though it is currently sitting at 6.5. That, because I know I got it right. But it's freaking me out. Well, Janet, if you're watching this, and when you get this, if it doesn't fit, I'll do it again, and then we'll have to readdress and figure out what went wrong. But I think, really, bottom line, it will still fit. Why? Because it's too loose for me, and I'm like a 7. Oops. Okay. But I'm good with that. All right, so now we'll put it into our ring mandrel. Wood ring mandrel, and we're going to drill a hole right through there. I got lucky with this one because it already has a little divot in there, so I don't need to center punch it, which would have been sort of interesting to center punch a hollow bead, right? So I'm going to do a pilot hole first because I live in fear of collapsing this puppy. So I'm going to start with a smaller hole, and then I'm going to work my way out. Hopefully, though, I don't drill through the whole thing because I need something to catch the tube setting on the inside. Ooh, nice. Okay, so we have a nice hole. Let's change that out. I don't like drilling large holes without a pilot hole. It's sort of it's sort of hard, and it creates a mess. So I'm checking my drill bit to see. I don't think I have a 3mm drill bit. This is actually a 4. So I'm going to go with the next largest one that I have, and we're just going to try and burr it out. Is that the right word? Okay. There we are. Always lubricate. I'm taking my time. Is this drill bit dead? Oh, you know what? Bad girl. That's a diamond drill bit. What the heck? Okay. Hold on. Gotta go grab another drill bit. Nope, you're not big enough. Let's see what else I've got. So I might just have to like manually burr this out, or oh, I know. I have a setting burr that maybe I can use instead. If it wasn't for the fact that my camera is sitting on my burr box, that was the quickest thing I could find to lift this. Let's see, is this the right size? We're a little bit big there. All right, we'll use this one. It's just a little setting burr. It's about the right size. Hopefully it's not too big. And we'll swap this out. This is being resourceful, using what you have, because, you know, that's all you have. Unless you want to sit here and wait another week and order something in, which I don't want to do. Okay. So, you know, a thought too was to put a granule on top of here, but what fun is that? That's no fun. That's not a pretty sound, but we're gonna go with it. It's working. Okay. So I want to do this to set this inside, but I don't want it to go all the way in because then it'll just sink. So let's see how far I can get this. Well, it went all the way in anyway. Let's see how this goes. Gonna have to open up a little bit. My next burr size up is too big, and this thing would definitely just sink in and not be any good. So I'm slowly but surely opening up this hole using my setting burr. And I'm actually working in a bit of a circular motion to open this up. And I think what I'm going to have to do to lift this, because I think it's just going to fall to the bottom here, is either, fill it with some sawdust, but then I need to solder this anyway. Or I'm going to grab a piece of wire to put inside. Clearly a large piece of wire for this to sit on top of. There we go. Let's see. But again, if the solder gods are with me, maybe it will just sit up while I solder without falling in. Ooh, yes. Oh, I'm digging that. Do you see that? Oh, I love that. Okay, it's staying. I'm going with it. I'm gonna grab some easy solder. We just put a little bit of easy solder on the side there. And we're just going to stick this in. So these are my new tweezers. We have new tweezers on the website. I'm digging this bent nose thing, and it's so nice and fine. You see that? It is perfect for doing stuff like this. Taking it out on a little test run here. And again, I didn't want this to set up too high. But I didn't want to set all the way inside either. Sit all the way inside. Sitting, setting, you know, there it is. So it's about halfway up the tube. And what I'm checking for now is making sure it's nice and even and not cockeyed. Okay? There it is. Okay. Oh, I never put the tweezers on the website. We'll have to do that this week. I'll show it again on Monday or something. Okay, heat the whole thing. I love this Gentech because I can do things like this very easily. And I'm asking the solder to come around. There it is. Oh, yay! It's the little things. It's the little things. It's nice. It did go all the way around nicely. Woohoo. Okay. Quench and pickle. So then comes the question, how the heck am I going to set this? I don't know. We're just doing it without collapsing it. I don't know. I'm still praying over here. You can't see me praying, but I'm praying in my head the whole entire time. Dear God, please work. I'm going live. I know. Okay. Let's get rid of some of this stuff while we pickle. Oops. Then the next question is, am I going to Blackmax this? I don't know. We'll see. Please finish pickling. Clearing the decks here. So we have a nice clean workspace. Do you guys clean as you go? I try. Operative word being try. All right, so once it comes out of the pickle, we think about doing a little bit of polishing, setting, and then we'll be done. Hey, I'm a little surprised. I'm actually going to be timely about this. I don't think we're going to go that far over today, honey. Look at that. Oh, I hope she's happy with this. I'm sure she will be. Just give it a little brush, see what's going on before I move forward with anything. Because I don't want to set this and then decide that I want to resolder or something like that. So I have a tiny little bit of a burr right here. I'm going to clean that up. I can take out my file, but I'm going to choose a slightly easier way to go. Actually, before I take this burr out, I am going to check the setting. Oops. Check the setting for a size. Just to make sure that there's enough room in here to set the stone. Because if it's not, I can go ahead and seat it. It seemed a little shallow, so I'm going to go ahead and seat it a little bit more just for a bit of insurance to make sure that that there's enough of a seat for the stone and that the setting is nice and secure. Okay, so that burr was a little too big for my tube. So we're going to go down to the next one. Oh yeah. And I'm just using a setting burr. That's all. Okay, a little bit more. I'm not really pushing down on it. I'm just sort of holding it still and letting it bite. Okay? Because I just needed a little tiny bit. I don't want this burr to go all the way through. Then I'm completely screwed. Okay, so next up, I'm going to go ahead and grab a sanding disc. I'll do a teeny weeny little bit of sanding. Just this, I have a little tiny bit here to take off. And this is going to be the fastest way to get it there. If you're using things like this, you know, you might want to practice if you're not used to it to understand how much metal it's taking, because some of these can go really fast and next thing you know you've absolutely taken away too much and you've ruined the piece. So be careful when you're using anything mechanical instead of doing it by hand. And if you're unfamiliar with this, you want to do it by hand first, right, until you're comfortable. So the question is, am I using wax with the burrs? Yes, I am. I don't think I did on that last try, but you're supposed to. I'm being quick about it. I'm being quick about it. Don't judge. Okay. You really should use lubrication when you are using a burr or any kind of a cutting, right? Like with your saw, with your twist drills, your high-speed twist drills and whatnot. Okay, so I'm looking for sandpaper here. Where is it? I think I walked away with my sandpaper. Hold on. Well, we'll use a nail file. I'm just sanding teeny weeny little bit that area just to get it polished or take out any of the cut marks. So I'm preparing it for polishing. That's what I'm doing here. Just that little area that I just sanded on the flex shaft. Again, words, they're not working today. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and blacken this. And then I'll polish it back before I set the stone. This is hollow, and I don't want any of this to go inside of my, any of the acid to go inside of my bead and be left there after the stone setting. So for me, I'm going to do this now so that I can wash it, right? So what I'm using, this is my favorite, it's Blackmax. It comes from Rio Grande, and it does, as you can see, a really nice job. It's fast, it's easy. A lot of people don't like it, but I've been using this stuff for years, and it just makes nice work of it. And you know, the other thing too is it's nice and black. That's the key, because for me, liver of sulfur is a little bit on the brown side, I'll say. On silver, it's not as intense, and I want this intense black color. Okay. I know, just a little bit more. There we go. Remember, when you use any kind of a patina or an acid, you want to make sure that you wash it really well in water to neutralize it. Water is a great neutralizer for just about everything. Okay, nice. So nice. I'm using a Pro Polish pad now just for some quick work, because I just want to see it, and then I'm going to hit it again with a muslin wheel. just to make sure everything comes out even nicer and really professional. But this will just let me know, this quick work will let me know if I need to add any more of the Blackmax. So what do you think? So far so good, huh? Gosh, now I want to make one of these for myself. I think I've started something. Maybe this should be a class. I don't know. Maybe this should be a kit. There you go. Oh, I think I might make this into a kit. That's not a bad idea. What do you think, honey? Since the video is already here, might as well make it a kit, right? Okay, no comment from the peanut gallery over there. All right, so I'm going to put this on my anvil. My brand new anvil, because apparently Q lost her 10-pound anvil at the last event. Well, not the last event, but at an event last fall. I know, it's totally weird. How do you lose like a 10-pound anvil? So I have this mini one in the meantime until my new one arrives. And we're just going to stick this on here. Okay, so we got one vote from Lynn for a kit. So here we just, oh, there it is. Woohoo! I like using the back end of my tweezers always to make sure that the stone is in there nice and level, just like that. It's not sitting up any. I'm gonna go like that. I don't think I'm going to be using a hammer on this one. I think I am just going to be pushing down on it so I don't collapse this bead. So now I'm using my stone setter, going to a size, this is a 3mm stone. So now I'm just going to go to a size 4.5 because you need to be over that bezel. Good amount of pressure without collapsing your bead. Oh, that came in nicely. And you see how I'm rocking it all around? It's not just a downward movement, but to rock it around to get it in. Well, one Janet likes it, which is great. This is going to the Janet that's not watching. I know, because I know Janet, the one that's watching, is going, I didn't send you anything. I sent you something months ago, right? That you already got back. Like, ooh, am I getting a new ring? But I know your hands are smaller. I'm so happy. Okay. Quick polish, and then we're going to be done. Woohoo! And I will take a good picture of this. I don't know why I'm digging this project so much, but I'm really digging this project. So thank you, Dr. Janet, for giving me the opportunity to create something new. Challenging my brain. All right, so I'm moving over to a muslin wheel. And this is the tail end of some Euro lustre, and we're just gonna polish this baby. Just like that. Hit it everywhere where you want it to be. Polish. I'm gonna save my hands here for a second. It's like getting all over the place. You know, these wood mandrels are great to save your hands, and they're what, $3-4? And you can drill into them. You can see my little drill holes. They're great. So we're just gonna go this side like so. And then we'll flip it over. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and hit the inside. So I even thought about putting stones on each side of this, but decided, I think I'm going too far. And you know, the 3mm stones I thought might be a little bit too small. Might look awkward to the ring shank if I just did the stone, but with this I think it looks really cool. Okay. If you have an ultrasonic cleaner, this is when you stick it in your ultrasonic cleaner. I do not. I still do not have one. I know. Maybe I should buy one in Tucson this year. I don't know. Still haven't justified it yet. Dawn liquid soap has worked very well for me for, I don't know, over 10 years. Oh my gosh. So happy. Look at that. Okay. Okay, let's do the reveal through the, there's no magic of television here. This is just how we do it. Let's see, I'm gonna pull out my nylon, get some of that dust off. I know, I'm putting it on. Oh! Okay, love it. That's what it looks like. Janet, you did a great job on the twist. Thanks for the little bit of a challenge. This will be coming back to you in, I don't know, maybe this week. Everything's on nice and tight. All the joints are really nice. Very, very, very happy. I just need to put this with some Dawn liquid soap and get some of this polish off, but it is done. Okay. Yay. Okay, despite all the technical difficulties, we are up and running. I got to figure out what's going on with my camera. Gee, if I killed off another camera, what are we at? Over 10 cameras since COVID started, or since virtual started. Here we are, week 96. All right, so we'll see everybody who is registered for the Zoom class on Friday for State Your Heart. And then it's going to be a travel day for me on Monday, heading out to Tucson. But I will try to come live. Come back live on Wednesday next week from Tucson and give everybody a little taste of what is out there. And if I can't get that up and running, I'll try to do it on Friday. And then we'll be back the following week. We'll show you what all we bought and all the stories and whatnot that is going to happen in Tucson. I've got 5 ladies coming with me. That's pretty exciting. Anyway, yay. Have a great rest of the week. I hope you all stay warm where you are. I know it is freaking cold up in Wisconsin. What did I see today? Minus 16? Is that what I saw? Ugh, haven't seen those temps around here. Knock on wood. So, all right. Have a great rest of the week. Thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for hanging in there. Please do continue to share and like these posts. We really need your help to keep this up. And we will see you in about a week.